In this video, I'm going to show you how to edit YouTube Shorts. This is going to be a Premiere Pro tutorial for beginners and a start to finish, so you can see the entire editing process so that you know exactly how to edit YouTube Shorts that are going to get you the views that you deserve on your videos. So let's jump onto my laptop and let me show you how we edit our YouTube Shorts on this channel. So the first thing we're going to do inside of Premiere Pro is create a new project. So head over to the left hand side and click on new project, and then we're going to call this how to edit YouTube Shorts. It's going to be a Premiere Pro tutorial for beginners, start to finish. So I always like to put the project in the folder where all the files are going to be, and we normally do this on an external hard drive, and here is the folder that we're going to use. So we're going to put our project inside of there and then click OK. This is going to launch the project for us. Now you're going to land on the standard outlay inside of Premiere Pro. If your screen does not look like this, all you need to do is head up to Window and then go to Workspaces and make sure you are on the editing workspace, and then it should look like this. Let's import our videos that we recorded so that we can start editing. So double click on this import media to start. Let's head over to the folder that we have all of the files in. So these are the two videos that we're going to edit. And then you can see, if you scrub through the footage, you can see everything that we have recorded here. The next thing we need to do is to create a sequence that is the right dimensions for a YouTube short. So the only rules that YouTube have outlined at the moment for your video to qualify as a short is it must be less than 1 minute and it must be longer than it is wide. So it doesn't have to be 16 by 9, it can be a 10 by 5 or a 4 by 5 or an 8 by 10, depending on what kind of dimensions you want to use for your specific video. So we like to customize these settings. So head over to File and then go New Sequence, and we're going to head over to Settings and do a Custom Sequence. Now we like to have 23.976 frames per second. This is the best look that we like, and then the frame size we're going to change. So you can either do a 1080 by 1920, and that's going to give you your 9 by 16, which is a standard full-length video. The other option that you can do for your short, which we like to do, is a 1440, which gives you your 3 by 4, which is a nice variation to have for your YouTube shorts. So it's not going to fill a mobile phone completely, but it will cover most of the screen, which is the effect that we like to go for. And then you can rename the sequence and click OK. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drag and drop our footage in here, and it's going to ask if you want to change your sequence settings to the way that you recorded the video, or if you want to keep existing. We're going to say keep existing settings, because at the moment our footage is on the side because we filmed with our camera vertical. We filmed this on a Sony Alpha 6400, which is the camera that we're filming with here. So we need to rotate our frame by 90 degrees. So we're going to head up to the effect controls, and under rotation I want you to select 90, and that's going to flip it 90 degrees to the right, and that should be filling the frame quite nicely. Now we can zoom in and zoom out so you can see how much you can go in and go out. We like to just fill that frame, and that's about how we like it. The next thing we're going to do is have a look at the color for this footage. Now we did record it quite dark, so we're going to head over to the curves. We like to add a slight little S curve. So we always add the S curve first, and then we go back to the basic controls, and then we have a look at the Lumetri scopes on the left here, and we want to stretch out those so that they are quite balanced. We're going to lift those shadows a bit, and our color is starting to look better already. Pull those highlights down so we don't have anything shiny with that backlight on us. And we can lift the whites, and by lifting the whites it will allow us to drop that exposure a bit and add a few more blacks just to get that nice color and vibrance. We're going to add some vibrance in also, and a little bit of saturation. Then we like to go back to the basic correction, and I like to add a bit of blue into the temperature, and then head down to the HSL secondary slider. So we're going to select that dropper and select your skin tone, and then click on the color gray. And then you can play around with the HSL sliders until your skin tones appear there. Now it has brought in a lot of the shirt that we were wearing and a bit of the desk, but that's okay. All I want to do is separate myself from the background. So I'm going to refine it and just add a bit of denoise and add a bit of blur. And then we can go back and pull it back if we do need to pull it back a bit because of that blur. We can take some of that out there. Then we're going to untick the color and gray, and I want to add a bit of warmth to my skin tones. A little bit of tan for those of us that haven't spent too much time in the sun. And don't add too much here, just a little bit. Just gives you that little bit of pop on your skin, which I like to add in. Then I want us to head across to the audio tab, and we're going to edit the audio. We're going to select dialogue, and I like to use the male balanced voice. Now the audio was recorded quite low here, so we're going to drag it down so that you can see the waveforms there. And then I like to play it through just to check where our sound is at, and I want to try and get it between -18 and -6. And I'm quite happy with the level of that sound. It sounds pretty good. Then I like to go back to the editing tab, and I like to add 2 more effects for the audio, which is a denoise, and I like to drop that on there, and then a hard limiter and drop that on there. And then you'll see in the effects controls tab, there your denoise will be and your hard limiter. So I like to edit it, and I like to just focus on the lower and higher frequencies to add that denoise to. And then the hard limiter, I like to have that at -3 dB. And all that does is it stops the audio from peaking and hurting your ears and putting people off from watching your videos. Now that I've started playing the color, it's looking very, very blue. So I'm going to head back here, and I'm going to add a bit more warmth into the image, just so it's not completely blue. But that's going to affect my skin tones because we did that separately. So I'm just going to pull that back a bit so it's not as drastic in your videos. Then we can head back to the editing. So now we've done the color and the audio. Now we can start cutting out all the bad parts of the video or trimming our video so that it looks really good. Now if you have more than one take or more than one clips that you want to add in, like we have another clip here, all I like to do is drop it in once I've done the color and the sound, and we can just right click on here, go copy, and then head across to that one, and we're going to right click on there and go paste attributes. And this allows you to copy the settings or changes that you've made on another clip in the timeline, and then you can select which ones you like. So we rotated the first clip, so I want to keep that in there. So scale and attributes and motion I want to copy because that rotation is under motion. I want to copy the Lumetri color because that's the color edit. I want to copy the volume and the hard limiter and the denoise to the sound and all the essential sound effects that we applied there. So let's paste it in there, and you can see it's flipped it, and we've got nice skin tones there. That was Leah filming us, so you can check out her channel down below. She's got a channel called Life Full of Zest. Awesome videos. Definitely go share the love and check out her channel. So let's get into snipping our video. Now we're going to go through this, and I know I spoke a bit for the other video before, and here's the sync clap. That was just before I started. I only actually started talking to the camera here, so I'm going to head across there. And you can grab the snipping tool or the razor tool, or you can use the shortcut C and it'll bring up the razor tool, and then you can cut, and then V to select the selection tool, and you can select and then hit backspace to delete that clip. But then the problem is that you have all of this space here that you have to get rid of. So if you make any mistakes inside of Premiere Pro, it's just Command Z to undo. So we're going to head back, and there's a shortcut that I want to teach you, and it's Q and W. Now Q trims everything to the left of your cursor, and W clears everything to the right. So if we hit Q, it's going to clear everything to the left. If we undo that and head back to where our cursor was, and we hit W, it's going to clear everything to the right. So we want everything to the left, so I like to clear that and then zoom in a bit further so we can see how close we are to the sound starting, and head a bit closer and hit Q again. Now we can listen to our video and decide what we want to include and what we want to remove. So I'm going to fast forward through this trimming process so that you don't have to sit through all of it, and then we'll have our first trim of the video done. So one of the most important things to do in your YouTube Shorts is to talk to or link to a longer video on YouTube. The only negative thing about YouTube Shorts is your watch time does get decreased. So I like to link to longer videos so that the person watches your short and then they watch another video of yours, or go over to your channel and check out another video that's longer to help increase that watch time. Also, getting them to watch a second video, YouTube will be super stoked with you and start pushing you out more. So make sure that you build into your YouTube Shorts linking to other videos on your channel so that people can always check them out. Okay, so we've finished our first cut of trimming our video, and we've got it to just over 40 seconds, which is perfect. The YouTube Shorts, you need them to be under 1 minute and longer than they are wide. So those are the only parameters that YouTube have given us at the moment for those YouTube Shorts. Now what I like to do is, in the second roll through, is add a bit of zooming into the images, maybe changing the color and adding a bit of adding a dynamic feel to your videos to keep people intrigued and to make them want to watch your entire video. Let me show you how you can zoom in and move a clip around on your video. So the first 5 to 10 seconds are the most important of your video. So put effort into zooming in and changing things a bit in this section. So we're going to start, and I want to start zoomed in so that people have a better feel for what is going on. So I'm going to zoom that first clip in, and that second one's going to jump out, and then I want to change it to black and white just to keep the curves. I like to do this. So under Lumetri color, we can head down to saturation and take that down to 0, and then I just like to lighten it a bit, maybe lift those shadows. That looks good, and we can zoom in a bit so we get a nice change from each clip. We're going to zoom this one in again. So if you need to check how much you've zoomed in, we've zoomed in 140 there. I want to zoom in even more here, so I can go 150 to scale it in, move it across a bit so we center it again. And then we're going to go super far in here, 160. And we're going to go black and white on this one again. Go under Lumetri color, under basic, take that saturation down, lift that exposure, lift those shadows a bit. So that's going to take you just past 15 seconds, which is the most important part of your video, to hook your viewer and convince them to keep watching the rest of your video. For those of you still watching this Premiere Pro tutorial, let me know by smashing that like button so I know you enjoyed this video. And if there are any other Premiere Pro tutorials that you guys want me to create, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll create those specifically for you guys. Once you've finished, you're now ready to export your video. So I like to put in and out points. So we're going to put an in point at the start of the video by hitting the shortcut R, and then head to the end of our video edit and hit O for out. Now that you've selected your in and out points, make sure that the V2 and V1 and A1, if you have any more audio or sound effects on A2 and A3, make sure they are highlighted before you start exporting your YouTube short. Then we're going to head up to the top, we're going to go File and Export Media. And all the export settings are going to pop up for you here. We like to export our YouTube shorts on H.264. We use a match source high bitrate because it's a custom layout there. And then the output name, we're going to check that it's going to go into the right folder that we created with our project file there. We can click save to have it there. And then I like to check the basic video settings, so it's 1080 by 1440, the right dimensions, the frame rate 23.976, which we created in the sequence. And then I like to head down to check the bitrate of the video. Now the bitrate settings, it's on a variable bitrate, 1 pass, and it's on 10. I like to increase this to 16, just gives us a crisper, better output of video. It is a bigger file size, but I prefer that. And then the last thing I want to do is select that use maximum render quality. And then we're going to queue it, so it's better to export these in Media Encoder than inside Premiere Pro, because then you can carry on working on your project, or you can do other stuff while it's running that export. So Media Encoder is going to launch, ready to export that video, and then all you need to do is click on that green play button and your video will export. Now that your video is exported, it's ready to be uploaded to YouTube as a YouTube short. If you have any questions or queries about this editing process, let me know in the comment section down below and I'll be happy to help you out. If you want me to create a specific tutorial on a section of the edit for your YouTube shorts, let me know down below and I'll create that video just for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.